Hello everybody. Well, this is a presentation on trigonometry, although I won't start with a trigonometry problem. My first problem is this here. Solve for x if we have this equation, 24 divided by x equals 8. Now you might be able to work it out intuitively by saying, well, x is equal to 3 because 24 divided by 3 is equal to 8. But how can you do it with the working? So if we say 24 divided by x equals 8, what we could do is times both sides by x like this. Now, times by x, divide by x, they're opposite operations and we'll cancel out the x on this side. Now, 8 times by x is 8x and 24 is left on this side here. Now, if we were to then divide both sides by 8, because this is times by 8, and divide by 8, they're opposites and will cancel out. So that'll give us just x on its own. And 24 divided by 8 is 3. Now we'll use this kind of problem solving technique later on when we do a problem. So let's take a look at our first one. Alright, well what happens if we have to find the length of x, this x, in this triangle here? Well, here's our reference angle here. Straight across from this is the opposite side. Right next to it is the adjacent side. And our hypotenuse is x. Well, what trigonometric ratio, sine, cos or tan, involves the adjacent side and the hypotenuse? Well, the answer is cos. So we can say cos of theta is equal to the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. Now cos of theta will change to be cos of 37. The adjacent side we know is 14. And the hypotenuse we don't know. Now this looks very much like that problem we solved on the previous slide. So how can we figure out what x equals to? Well, what we can do is we can times both sides by x. Now divided by x times by x, they're opposites and will cancel out. So we'll be left with x times by cos of 37 equals 14. Now we can divide cos of 37 on both sides and keep the equation balanced by doing the same thing to both sides. Now times cos of 37, divide cos of 37, cancels out and just leaves x on its own. Now x will be equal to 14 divided by cos of 37. Now if you put that into your calculator, you should get 17.52989. Now we can round this to 2 decimal places, so we should get 17.53. Alrighty, let's try another one. What happens if we have to find the length x in this triangle here? Now, here's our reference angle, so theta will be 43. Now straight across from theta, the opposite side will be O, the opposite side. Now right next to our reference angle will be the adjacent side, and right across from the right angle will be the hypotenuse. Now, we know the opposite side and we want to figure out the adjacent side. What sort of angle should we use? What sort of trig ratio should we use? Well, what one involves the opposite and the adjacent? Actually, tan involves the opposite and the adjacent. So let's put in everything we know. In place of theta, the reference angle will be 43. In place of O, the opposite side, will be 23. And in place of the adjacent side will be x. Again, we've got x down here in the denominator. Now what we can do is we can multiply by x on both sides. Divided by x and times by x, they're opposites and will cancel out. We say we have x times by tan of 43. Now we can divide both sides by tan of 43. Now times by tan of 43 and divide by tan of 43, they're opposites. And that'll give us x equals 23 divided by tan of 43. Which means x will be equal to, when you put it into your calculator, 24.66448. Now I'll round that to 2 decimal places, so it'll be 24.66. These ones will, I guess, will round down, so it'll be closest to 24.66. Alrighty, last one. Okay, again I want to find this length x from here to here. Now, how can I do it? Well, here's our reference angle here. Straight across from that will be the opposite side. Right next to it will be the adjacent side. And right across from the right angle is the hypotenuse. Now we want to know the length of the hypotenuse, and we know the opposite side is 29. So we could say sine of theta is equal to the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. So sine of theta is 71. Now the opposite side is 29 and the hypotenuse is equal to x. Well, what do I do now? Well, same thing as I've done previously. I want to get x out of the denominator, so I'll multiply by x on both sides. Divided by x and times by x, they're opposites and will cancel out and leave 29 on its own. Now I've got x times by sine of 71 is equal to 29. If I divide by sine of 71, I'm going to do the opposite of times by sine of 71. So that and that will cancel down, and that will leave us with x is equal to 29 divided by sine of 71. Now when you put that into your calculator and work it out, you'll get 30.67099, which is, if we round it to 2 decimal places, closest to 30.67. Alrighty, well I hope that helps, and I'll see you in class.